Hello again, YouTube. Today we're going to be looking at this DiagLink Automotive Diagnostic Tool and OBD2 scanner manufactured by Autel. Again, as a matter of full disclosure, they did send me this unit for a review, so I'll do a brief review, maybe a little bit different than the other reviews you might find online. Spoiler alert,
We're going to open it up and see what's inside.
let's go ahead and do the obligatory unboxing real quick. As most do, they come with a nice little zippered case. There's the unit itself. Software installation guide. Pretty good size manual. Looks like this printed manual is completely in English. Software CD. And the cable. Feels like we have one more cable. Yes, there's our USB cable. You can kind of get an idea about the size of this unit. It's kind of wide, fits well in your hand. Rubberized coating, so it's got a good grip, and it feels quite durable. It's got these membrane keyboard buttons on it, so any liquids or oils are not going to seep down inside the unit. It's completely sealed. I always love peeling off the protective cover that's on these screens of electronics. It's never going to be that clean again. Let's take a look at the screen size here. It looks like it's got about a diagonal measurement of 2 3/4 inches. There's the connector on top for the cable, and it's got thumb screws to anchor it in so it won't pull out. On this side we have the USB data port, as well as a micro SD card. Let's see what size card is in this thing. Looks like a 4 GB SanDisk card. Take a quick look at what's on the box. Standard things like turning off warning lights and whatnot. It's got some graphing features. I'll let you read what's on the box here. And our list of features. Got a check engine light that just showed up on my Toyota Tacoma, so let's go outside and take a look at that. But first, before I take this out and hook it up to the truck, I'm going to update the software on this thing following the installation guide. It's just a 2-page document on the steps to update and install some modules on this thing. I went through and installed the CD on my Windows machine. It's nothing more than, the typical setup. Pick all the defaults and the software is installed on your computer. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the USB cable to the device right there. Now we plug it into the USB port. The next thing the install guide says to do is to scroll over here to the update icon. It's not touchscreen, so you have to use these navigation buttons. So I'm going to scroll to the right and down and click OK. So now we're in update mode. Processing data, please wait. So that says connected to your computer. Sounds like the computer's recognized it. After the software got installed, they gave me this shortcut on my desktop called Autel Update. I'll fire that up to start the process. The software's prompting me for an account and password. I have not set that up yet, so I'm going to click on register. That brings me to their website where I can go ahead and create an Autel ID account. I'll click the button here on the left. So I'll proceed to fill out this form and register for an account. Okay, I've created my account. You enter your password and you click a button, and then they'll send you a registration code that you have to type in, pick a password and some other things, submit that, and boom, now you've got an account. Next thing I've got to do is register the product, and we're going to pick the product model, which is a DiagLink. And then we need the serial number. The serial number is on the back of the unit on this barcode, but we also need a registration password. And where we get that is by going back to the device. Now, since I got the USB cable hooked up, I can't get into the software. Nothing's going to happen, so I have to disconnect it and then reconnect it. So the boot menu will come up, and once this starts, now I can go to the setup screen, and from the setup screen I can pick About. Now on the About page, it will give me my serial number and my registration password, which I need. I won't show you mine. So once we have that information from the unit, we'll type in our serial number, our password, and then this whatever your CAPTCHA security code is, and hit submit. Alright, my device is registered, and then we got one update available to the software, so let's go figure out how to do that. Tell you what, let's go back to the desktop software since I kind of run into a roadblock here. I'm going to go back to the device, navigate down to the update option and click OK. Now it's connected to the computer via USB. Back to the software now, and I've got my account. This is the account that I created a little while ago. Alright, now that I've logged into the desktop software, authorization updated successfully. Since the device is connected to the computer, it recognized it. I'm going to select the Autel PC suite. Looks like version 6.37 in this case, and install. Please rerun Scan Tool Update to finish the updating. Go back to my computer, click on the Update shortcut. It's updating my desktop software. And we'll run it once more time now that the update's done. We log in. Alright, looks like we have another update now. The service, can't even tell what the whole thing says. I'm going to run this update. Install complete, whatever that means. Now what? Alright, exit. I guess that's it. Alright, so here's a confusing part. The manual talks about your one free download that you've got, and you could download it for the car manufacturer of your choice. You get one free one, and then you have to purchase any additional ones. But it's supposed to be listed in the list of updates available to you, your one free download, but it's not listed here. So I went back to their website and clicked on My Account, so I'm under Your Account, and then under, where did I go? PC Suite Program. And I found the list of PC Suite programs to download, and apparently the one I've got is the one right here, this Autel PC Suite, version 6.37 in my case, and that's as far as it went with what it had to offer me. Then I noticed this, we've got the DiagLink PC Suite. So since I've got that device for the DiagLink product, I went ahead and downloaded and installed that, and then, lo and behold, when I've got the unit connected to the PC in update mode, I can run that software and I get this, and then it tells me I've got one free software download, and it's a little hard to understand because it's kind of written in broken English. So basically it tells me I've got one download, one free one. So I'm going to look here now under I'm going to want to download, in my case, since I've got several vehicles in the Acura Honda category. Look at all the manufacturers they've got here on there. Subaru and Mitsubishi, of course GM, Chrysler, Ford, Isuzu, all ton of them. But if I go up here to my Honda Acura category, right here, and the checkbox is grayed out, but if I click Get Free, type in my credentials, alright, now select the updates to update from the list below. I guess I gotta go back down and find the Honda Acura category. There it is. It includes these: Honda, EPB Honda, oil reset, and those are for Acura as well. So I guess I get all of those for free. One update. Click the update button. It looks like it's downloading the update. Alright, we'll let that finish. We'll be back in a second. Alright, it's continuing to proceed here. See, I've still got the unit plugged in and in update mode, so the computer is talking to it. It's downloaded the updates and it's installing my 6 updates in this case. Here's our progress indicator. Alright, looks like we're done with that install. That was a little cumbersome, especially the fact that I had to install a different PC suite to find these manufacturers' updates. But I believe we're done with our free one. You can come back and purchase others. I think they're, I read somewhere they're like $10 or $15 a piece. So if you've got 1 or 2 or 3 different vehicles of different manufacturers, that's not so bad, I guess. Now that we're done installing the software and our updates, can't seem to do anything. We're stuck in this update mode, so all I can think about doing is disconnecting it from the computer. Let's go ahead and take it outside and see what's going on with that check engine light. So we're in my 1995 Toyota Tacoma, and the check engine light came on a few days ago, so I'm going to use this scan tool and see what it can tell me about what's causing that light to come on. This old beast has 247,000 miles on it, Still going strong. Now you might wonder, 1995, I mean OBD2 didn't come out until 1996. This is actually a 1995 and a half model year, and some manufacturers even came out with compatibility with the OBD2 standard prior to 1996, and that is the case with this truck. So let's see what the scanner tells us about it. So you got the cable connected to the unit. We'll plug it into the data port, and the unit boots up. Alright, I'm going to turn on the ignition key so that it can communicate with the car's computer. And let's scroll over here to scan, click OK. And now it gives us choice of manufacturers. Now, of course, since I downloaded Acura and Honda, those two are available, and then we got green icons next to the other manufacturers to download those. But I would think I should still be able to do the basic scanning function regardless of manufacturer. Let's see if I go to the OBD2 menu option. Yeah, there we go. Talking to the computer, picking its protocol. Eventually it'll come back and tells me that the check engine light or the MIL status light is on. One code found. Let's click OK now and see what the deal is. Scroll down, read codes, stored codes. Alright, so there's my code, the O2 sensor circuit bank 1 sensor 2, P0136. $10? Why is it telling me $10? Is that the typical cost of the part or the repair? That can't be the cost of the repair. If I click help while on this screen, what's it going to tell me? It's just information about navigating. You'd think that I could get help on this particular code. You can on some of the other scanners. I'm going to go to freeze frame, and hopefully that captured data at the time that code was thrown. Alright, the code that caused it is P0136. Here's the freeze frame data that goes with that code at the time. I guess I can scroll down. Yeah. These are all the measurements at the time that code was thrown. Short-term, long-term fuel trim, RPM was 900. So not a whole lot of information about what happened at that time. Just a few pieces of information. So these are all the other menu options, just so you can take a look and see what's here on this diagnostic menu. Back to the main menu. Electronic parking brake. Don't have that on this vehicle. Scan. Need to do that on a vehicle that you've downloaded the module for. Then you'll get all the extra PIDs, the manufacturer-specific PIDs. You can reset your oil reset light if your vehicle needs that. We did setup update, and you can play back. Assume some things you've saved. Let me go back into the OBD menu one more time. Alright, let's do one last thing. Hang on. IM readiness is good. If you're getting ready to go get your emissions done, if you're subject to an emissions test in the area that you live in, we are here where I live. And this will tell you if you're ready for your emissions test. Now, I've got my ML light on, my check engine light on. I will not pass my test. Comprehensive component is on. These are all the different readiness indicators. I think this right here, catalyst monitoring. Is that incomplete, INC? I don't know. Probably because I have an O2 sensor issue. Alright, back. Let's go back. Alright, let's look at live data. And to do that, I'm going to crank up the truck. And now we're going to run live data. This is pretty cool, something you don't get on the really cheap scanners, the ability to look at live data. And you can look at the complete list of available monitors that you can see. This is live stream data. Short-term and long-term fuel trim. There's RPM, so we can see our live data if I rev the engine up a little bit. Long-term fuel trim's climbing a little bit. That's pretty cool. O2 sensors, bank 1, sensor 1, there it is. The voltage fluctuates on an O2 sensor when it's operating properly. Now the refresh rate on that's not very high. It doesn't look like it's oscillating evenly, but it is. If we want to graph this one value, my O2 bank 1 sensor 1, I can click this the soft button under the one graphic option, Now we should be able to see the voltage measurement for that O2 sensor oscillating up and down, and there it goes. Should be a rhythmic oscillation up and down. If I rev it up, see a little spike there that responded, but it's still oscillating up and down. I'll go back to idle, and it's settled back down. So that's interesting. Let's do a custom list of this live data, and I'm going to go pick a couple things. Let's pick short-term fuel trim. Let's see, select long-term fuel trim, and I'm going to click OK, I guess. There they are, and we'll graph it. Looks like we're only able to graph one data point at a time. So that's one limitation that this thing has. You can't have a graph of multiple measurements. You also can't scale it. But that's okay, as long as you're measuring just one measurement. You probably don't really need to scale it too much, but if you're doing multiple measurements, it'd help if you could set the scale. Anyway, that's a quick look at the live data stream. Alright, to wrap it up, I'm back here at the main diagnostic menu. And just to make sure that this thing will do what the cheapest of code readers will do, and that is erase codes. My O2 sensor circuit code has been, it comes on rarely. Maybe it's like the third time it's come on in the last couple years. I may have like an intermittent wiring problem or a loose connector or something like that, but I'm not overly concerned about it. So I'm going to erase this code, and I'll hit the OK button, and it wants me to confirm. And as I do, I'll watch my check engine light and click yes, and of course the light went out. Erase is done. Alright, let's go back inside and wrap this up. So I'm back down here on the bench now, and I thought it'd be fun to do something a little different that you don't typically see on your average code reader tool review. I thought it'd be fun to kind of get inside of this thing and just see how it's constructed, check out the quality of construction, you know, the components inside and whatnot. So I got to figure out a way of working this rubber cover off of it. It's like it's just kind of stretched over. There we go. Coerce it off of the plastic case. There we go, put that aside. And it looks like we got 4 Phillips screws holding the case together. So I don't know, if you spend a lot of money on a thing like this, would you feel brave enough to get inside just for curiosity? Or would you be confident enough to know that I'm not going to hurt it? There, we got the 6 screws out. Let's see how the case just comes right apart. Just a plastic shell. Got a plastic shell on this side. So there's the ribbon cable that attaches to the membrane keyboard. And here's the screen, just sitting on top. There's the ribbon cable holding the screen on with a simple little edge connector. But the whole unit is one board with some small integrated circuits on it. And there's the speaker. Of course, the connector for the cable, USB, and then the memory card slot for the micro SD card. So on the board, we got DiagLink V5, version 5 of the board. Looks like typical integrated circuit construction of a component like this. Anyway, that solves my curiosity as to what's in here. Nothing mechanical. No hamsters in a wheel. No batteries, obviously. But that's the unit. I'll just put it back together so that I can use it next time. Some people might say, don't take it apart, you're going to ruin it, you're going to lose pieces, how are you going to know it? What harm can you do? If it's got screws on it, it was originally assembled somehow, which means it can be disassembled. And as long as you're careful, confident, looks like it did not get any dust inside, that's good. You're likely not going to hurt it. The rubberized frame back around it, and we are good to go. No one's to the wiser we've ever been inside. Alright, that concludes my review of the DiagLink diagnostic tool from Autel. I did not go into many of the advanced functions of the tool, which you may find surprising. There are plenty of other reviews of this tool that go into some of those advanced features, especially those that are manufacturer specific. I think that's the actual power in this particular unit. But I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to focus on the update process of updating the software, downloading and installing those modules, as well as getting inside of this beast just to see what was inside, since I thought that was kind of a unique type of review that I've never seen before. All right, let's quickly talk about some pros and cons. Now, the typical pros, nice case, cable's plenty long, sturdy construction. I really like that when these things are durable. And the user manual. Believe it or not, most of these affordable ones don't really come with much of a user manual. It's a fairly extensive user manual, and if you care to read it, it'll help you through all of those functions. Who reads the user manual? But then again, I think that's a plus, something in the plus column. It's got a nice bright screen, easy to use controls. It's got real-time data and freeze frame data. Some of the cheap units don't give you that freeze frame data that'll tell you what the state of the computer was at the time it threw that code that it recorded in memory. And most importantly, it's got the advanced functions for specific manufacturers. You can get into some deep diagnostics and some manufacturer-specific codes by using the downloaded module specific to that manufacturer. When we look at the cons, I got to go straight to the software update process. Again, like in my last review of one of these tools, the update process is confusing. Sometimes it's hard to figure out how to navigate around. It's not real intuitive. Being a software engineer by trade, poorly designed software just burns me up. But that's just me. So I had to fumble my way through that update process, the registration process. It was multiple steps before I could finally get this thing updated and get my module downloaded. The other thing that's a con is that you only get one manufacturer-specific download for free. You buy the device for a specific price, you get one for free. If you work on a lot of different cars, you got to download and pay for each additional one. So that might factor into the price. And the last con that I noted was that you could only graph one PID in real time. Some of the other code readers that you see, diagnostic tools, you can graph as many as 4, maybe even more, and you'll see a line on the chart for each of those, and you can do some correlation. Whereas this one, you can only graph one at a time, it looked like. At least that's all I could find. So that wraps up this review of the DiagLink diagnostic tool from Autel. I'll put a link down in the description where you can buy this. As always, thanks for watching. If you care to, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.